Hey everybody, this is Tessa.
This is Tricia.
This is Strong Female Lead, episode 3.
Welcome.
So, what does outer space, comic books, New Jersey,
Jersey,
and hearable acting have in common?
I don't know, Tessa, but
These two movies, obviously.
yeah, the two movies we picked. Although we are going to have to disagree.
We both thought we were picking such winners.
I'm sorry. Speak for yourself. What the fuck?
I thought
Chasing
you were
Amy
picking
is
such a winner. Let me rephrase.
Chasing Amy is one of my favorite fucking movies. Do not take me down with that. I will stand by it. I will defend it. We'll get into it. But yeah, so what do we, I mean,
yeah,
what
I
are we
just
doing
wanted to pick a lighthearted sci-fi dramedy just to wash away something borrowed. I was like, that was so controversial, and my blood pressure was so high. I drank an entire bottle of wine to forget it, and I just wanted a break. I wanted my mind to be a break, and I just wanted to go on a ride. So I picked Valerian.
Which is the worst movie of all time.
It might be. It might
Did
be.
it do that for you, though?
It did. It
Did it
achieved
give
everything
that
I
brain
wanted
break?
it to be achieved, because it was just like my mind was like, it was completely blank. Because what?
Well, I think I told you earlier, but I took a couple breaks while watching Valerian because I could not handle the movie. And my break was updating my resume on LinkedIn. And I found that to be
What did
more
you update
therapeutic.
it to?
I just added the job that I've been in. You know, I just get a little, what's the word for it? Like I'm a little, oh my gosh, when you think something like spooky is going to happen if you do something. Superstitious.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like, so I didn't put it. But I will. Where are we? West Town? Is that what it's called? I know nothing about where I'm at ever.
You know,
We're due east of where you live.
Yeah, I do right lefts. Like I don't do maps. I don't
I'm
know
left of where you
neighborhoods.
If you're
Perfect.
south.
that's
Perfect.
such an interesting way to orient yourself. I just write lefts.
I do. I Google Maps. I use the words.
Oh!
And I don't know, I never know, like, geographically where I am. And so Zach is like, if you just use the map that's available, you might be able to orient yourself.
You might be at a point in your life
Where it's
too late.
It's too late.
Like all of a sudden, like stab you with directions.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of my energy and really doesn't take that much time like off my day. But I am so bad with directions. This is actually kind of a funny story. I got a concussion playing kickball in Philadelphia as part of a co-ed team. This guy like ran me over at first base. Just ran me over, and I fell over.
That's just like Philadelphia, from what I can tell.
It's very
very
Philly.
aggressive city.
So my bell was definitely rung, but I got up and I played. And
I like that Philadelphia reference.
I played. Oh, I did need the Liberty Bell. Very funny. And I did not mean that.
Oh.
No, when you're concussed, your bell is rung. That's the phrase.
I thought it was a thing.
I like that. So my bell was rung, Philly style, and I didn't realize I was concussed until I was like walking home with a friend, and I could not get my head around our conversation. Like it was just in and out of my brain, like to an extent that I'd never experienced, where I just like didn't know what we were talking about in the middle of the conversation. And that's when I realized that I probably needed to go to the hospital. But no one knew I had a concussion because they said I was so bad with directions all the time that my saying, oh, how do I get home, didn't faze them. so that is what my friends were like, ooh, we couldn't really tell. Sorry, you never know where you're going. And I was like, oh, shit. And the doctor told me, don't think. For like 2 or 3 days.
Okay, what's the name of this hospital you went to?
Try not to think, because you're supposed to do that when you have a concussion.
Try not to think?
As much as you can, like, eliminate stress. Don't read, very in-depth material. Basically, don't go to work, that kind of thing. I'm like, good, because I just started Vanderpump Rules at that time, and it had just come out. I'm like, I know exactly.
And you can watch that, and you don't have to think.
You don't have to think. I'm like, perfect. Thank you.
I just like that a doctor told you not to think.
Yeah, they said don't think hard.
I was like, could you write that down for me? I just want to have this.
It's amazing advice.
As a doctor's
you were an
note.
adult when Savage.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were 9. I'm picturing the kids trying to get you home. No one knows where they're going.
Oh, no. This was 4 years ago.
Guys, this has been another trying week for the podcast. I went into this week just wanting to wash away something borrowed with something new. And that new thing was Valerian. And my God, the trailer really sold me.
This mission is a simple in and out. Agent Valerian, you'll be running solo.
I only work with my partner.
Hi.
We're a team. Let's go.
You're running nearly 20 minutes late.
Yeah, well, time flies when you're having fun.
Welcome to Alpha. The city of 1,000 planets, where for hundreds of years, every species has shared their knowledge and their intelligence with each other. It's paradise.
Amazing.
After centuries of peace and prosperity, an unknown force wants to destroy all we have created.
Agents Valerian and Laureline, you have less than 10 hours to find the threat and eliminate it.
Let's get to work.
The whole universe is after us.
We need the two of you to be the guardians of our future.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Valerian, trust me.
How much time left?
Our destiny is in your hands.
I taught him how to do that.
It was the single worst movie I've ever seen. Well, basically, we hated each other's movies.
Okay, we're going to just get started with Valerian. I honestly am shocked by how bad this movie was. For something that cost so much, and it actually did pretty well box office wise. I was actually even more shocked about that. Did terrible in the United States, but worldwide.
Yeah, it really did do well, didn't it?
Yeah, it was like $300 million it made worldwide, but it cost almost $200 million to make.
Doesn't that just make you think, why the fuck aren't I making a movie? If that kind of dialogue is acceptable, and that sort of story and plot line, I don't know, man.
I think
we're in the wrong business. I think that's what we need to be doing.
I am shocked. I don't think there was a plot. I think it was just a sequence of events.
So what was Valerian about, Tessa? Because truly, I don't know.
So I'm just going to walk you through the movie as I understood it.
And then we need a strong female lead in there, too, right?
Well, there were women.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I have a hard time calling any woman in this a strong female lead. Only because I can't really say that anyone was the protagonist or was changed or evolved or even flirted with the plot at all of this movie. Any female character.
Yeah, nothing happened with them.
I mean, there was Cara Delevingne, or I'm sorry if I'm saying her name wrong.
Cara.
The last name though.
Delevingne, I think.
Oh, Delevingne.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I don't know. It's English.
And she's British.
Yeah.
And I heard the accent. Did you hear it every once in a while? I heard it slip.
I did, but why wouldn't they just let her be British? You're in space.
Agreed. There was no reason. There was no reason for her to have an American accent.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, even like the first, like one of the first opening scenes, they're not from the same place. So again, I was like, why is she struggling through this movie?
Oh, you mean when they wrestled on the beach with a drink that clearly was not real liquid because all they did was just pass it back and forth and it didn't like slosh at all?
This was awkward. Oh. Well, let's just, let's
all right, let's boil it down.
Where the movie starts with like a solid like minute and a half of black. I was like, what's happening? Why is this movie soundless? Why is Amazon Prime trying to steal my $12.99 that I pay for Prime? This is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
And then followed by the handshake sequence that lasted solidly like 4 minutes.
I do like how then it was clear that we were discovering more like aliens, different planets. Like as the handshakes went, then it was like, this kind of creature. Oh, that kind of creature. All to David Bowie, which was a little on the nose.
Yeah, and I was like, we've already accepted the universe that we're in space and there is aliens. We don't need any of this. I just saved you $20 million right there in CGI. We don't need any of these scenes. We know we're in space. And we immediately follow the handshake sequence. It's like, year 2125. And then we immediately fast forward 400 years. What the fuck? I was like,
they don't have time. They don't have time.
Just black screen, year, movie begin. $20 million. Just saved you right there. Get me on your staff.
Yeah. No, agreed. It was crazy.
I was like, what the fuck?
That was crazy. So, okay, so what are they? So they're shaking hands and then
shaking hands. We move forward 400 years. We wake up on planet Mull.
Right.
With the beautiful,
oh my God,
I don't know, fish creature? Like,
oh my God. Oh, a fish creature.
I don't know. I thought there was some sort of like water creature.
So I put the skinniest aliens in all the land.
Yeah.
Who had pearls attached to them around them and pets that shat pearls. That is really what I gathered from.
I was just confused on what the shit pearls did.
I know.
Because
they would wash their faces with the shit pearls.
Yeah.
And then they would kind of throw them around and then put them back in the water.
They had next to no. I'm like, they both were extremely valuable and had no value. Like, if everyone has these,
they were a form of currency. There was a lot of them. You're right.
Ton. So I was like, why? How could we only save one? It seems like everything on this planet is made out of them. No one took a ring. Shoved some up the butt. Like,
it was very.
This
this
was fast, but it wasn't that fast.
We were bombarded with them. I think the aliens though, they looked like they were missing ribs.
I don't know. I thought they looked good. I mean,
a little.
They were like one of the things I didn't have problems with because I was like, okay.
They had glitter. Their heads would get like inside glitter looking, right?
It was like
when
scales.
They would get upset.
Like they look like they were going to an EDM festival.
And I was I would go. If the festival was on that planet, I would go.
They were going to Mamby on the beach.
I would totally go.
Electric Forest.
Totally love to hang
they were
out
going
with
to
them.
Electric Forest also.
Daisy.
Electric Daisy. What?
Electric Daisy.
I think there's an Electric Forest too.
There is.
Oh. But yeah, so they had that little lizard animal, and then honestly, this is where I have
like armadillo creature.
My notes say shaking hands forever, and then it says skinniest aliens of all time. Looks like they're missing ribs. Pet was shitting pearls. Federal agents. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
I couldn't catch up.
So paradise is interrupted with what looks like from a distance asteroids hitting this peaceful, serene planet at its perfect equilibrium.
Very sad.
Like, very sad. And they're indigenous. I've never seen this before, but they have multiple moons, so I'm like, they couldn't be that foreign. I was like, come on now. There's multiple moons in this world. I was like, I was paying attention. So I was like, okay, well, this is real unrealistic. But I digress. So things are falling from the sky. They look like asteroids. Turns out it's not an asteroid. They're like man-made machines falling to their planet. They, for some reason, go to investigate, which again, I don't know if these are people of color, but this is very outside of like our nature to go investigate. I was like, that's not what we do, so cool.
Wait. But don't they lock the one woman and the daughter, she doesn't get into the safety zone.
She doesn't. Which I'm like, how do they even know that this is like a safe place. Like they end up like evacuating and they're exploring the ship, and then like more things are falling from the sky. And then
you're talking about the ship. I was talking about when they first when they said goodbye to the one who was left outside.
Yeah, that's where they're inside a ship. Yeah,
Whoa.
They're inside a fallen ship because
thought it was like a cave they had or something.
No, see,
yeah,
I
had no idea.
I was so mad, and I was like, "Hey, where's the crew to this ship?" Mystery.
Not there.
But they for some reason,
it's a ship that fell.
And
then they just went into it, and then
yeah, and I was like, why is no one looking after the princess? She doesn't have any attendees, ladies in waiting. Like, she's just like off frolicking on the beach.
No, because you can't see me, but she was doing a lot of this thing with her arms.
Yeah, like a beautiful ballet.
Just in the, like, sort of like an interpretive dance.
like she may have been at an EDM festival.
She definitely had a hold of the good stuff. There may have been some Molly. You know what? That whole place was just filled. That was what the pearls were.
Yeah, it was like
Molly.
some sort of shit drug, and I'm like,
what?
That's what Andrew said.
It was Molly. I bet you if we try and find out some like background about this, I bet that is what they're doing. Because she's all touching and you know what I mean? Like, who does that unless you're rolling?
That's just what happens when you're from a perfect place. You just enjoy life.
Okay.
It's a perfect temperate 72 degrees, and you're just like, I love my life.
You love it. You don't really have to wear any clothes. You're somewhat glittery.
Yeah.
Everyone sort of looks the same, but beautiful.
Yeah, I love how the people in that moon universe or planet Mull had way more chemistry than Valerian and Laureline. Like, there was like a moment where the princess like makes eyes with another person. I was like, chemistry. Oh, it exists. Like, two characters said nothing and had chemistry.
How much would you pay to see the skinny aliens fuck the shit out of each other? With marbles. Or sorry, pearls involved.
That's a good question. This does not cross my mind. Interesting. Let's let it play out. I'm recasting the movie in my mind. Excuse me.
Okay, so then we move to, right?
So then we move on and we meet Valerian and Laureline, which I'm going to admit going into this, I thought Cara Delevingne's character was Valerian, and I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. A woman kicking ass in space. Not that she wasn't, not that she didn't, but I was like, she's not really the lead.
So you thought that when you first watched it?
Yeah.
Or when you were
because she gets
picking
top
it?
billing. So I was like, she's the lead.
So now I see why you picked it.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, just because she doesn't do much of anything.
She literally doesn't. And I was like, oh,
but
this
she's
is
pretty.
super disappointing.
Her brow game is on, so.
Yeah. But she was
strong female brow.
Strong female brow. For sure.
I digress.
Okay,
so we meet Valerian and Laureline, and they're like having this weird
awkwardly wrestling,
sexy
wrestling.
Oh my god!
I didn't like it.
And I was like, was there a table read for this? Because like why? The casting in this movie is so off. And I was
no
like,
one seems to really understand or like anybody else that they're working with.
No.
That's what I feel like they didn't hang out afterwards. The feeling that I got is that they did not grab a drink after they were acting.
No, and I was like, oh my god, if I could recast this movie, this would be like the perfect, like, Ryan Reynolds would have been a perfect Valerian. Someone with swag, like, he had just no swag.
We also thought Bruce Willis would have been great. I thought Valerian should have been gruff and old.
Yeah, I would take that.
But I would have been super happy with
I would take that because
I'm a big fan.
Dean DeHaan, he looks 14.
I didn't like him.
Yeah, and I was like, he's trying to do this like passive, like.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that he was banging all those chicks.
Absolutely not.
He sounded like he was talking about someone that did that. I didn't get it. I don't think
I didn't get it, and I was like, totally believe that. There's just no universe where those two are together.
Okay, so they meet, and then they're on this kind of like mission to go where? They're going to Mull, or they're going to this place Alpha?
They're going to.
I don't get it.
So they get a mission. Their weird romance time is interrupted with a mission. They get called back to work, which is shocking because again they're 14.
On a beach. Weird.
Yeah, on a simulated beach, which is really a spaceship.
Yeah.
Also, I was
Yeah, that
actually
was
the only strong female lead in this movie is the Alex system. The system telling everybody what to do.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna give it to her. Alex
She
wins.
is telling that.
And I like that its name is Alex, and I was like, who stole from who? Alex and Alexa.
They're probably,
You decide.
maybe they're cousins or sisters. Maybe they're in this together. They're all taking over. I am afraid of Alexa, but that's for another time. She scares me. She does.
There goes our Amazon sponsor.
I know. Thanks, Tricia. God, this episode is not brought to you by Amazon.
God. Okay, so they have this mission,
Yeah.
and then they have to go to this like.
They go to this like. They literally go to like a EDM like.
It's like
festival.
an alternate
It's
reality.
like it's called Big Market, and I was like, come on now.
Yeah.
Is this sound cooler in French in the comic book? And I was like, what is Big Market in French?
Oh, is it like the World's Fair? Or something.
That was the best accent, non-regional English accent I've ever heard. I love
That
it.
was my just like, I'm cultural and I know about the World's Fair. It's not a real accent. I'm cultured.
That's the British version of a transatlantic accent. I really enjoyed it.
The World's Fair. It was like an EDM alternate reality World's Fair with
Yeah.
like aliens and crazy shit happening. I did think that was kind of cool though. I did like the parts where Valerian he had his little thing on, his hat thing, so he could like enter that world, and then he just looked like he was just doing nothing.
Yeah, I was
in an area without anything else. I don't know. I liked that they were contrling this other. So it was basically like another realm, is what I was getting. So
Yeah.
right? Is that
Yeah.
what that was?
Yeah. It seemed it was like a 3D universe that you had to be like wearing like the special equipment to engage with in any way. And you had to have that box thing to touch anything.
I'd pay to do that.
To do that?
I think that'd be fun.
I feel like that's like Childish Gambino's old concerts where you had to like put all your technology away and then you get like the glasses.
Oh.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
No.
Man, Gambino.
Oh, I know. I mean, he's good at everything, but I don't know anything about like I know he's Gambino, but I don't know his music.
Oh.
I just know Atlanta.
You've got time. Yeah, he's wonderful. I mean, he's good at everything.
Yeah, he is good at everything. Okay, so we're in this 3D reality and...
Yes, so they're in the 3D reality. They have to retrieve or what we don't know is that little, like, armadillo shit pearl thing.
That lizard pet.
Yeah.
That weird,
Yeah.
cute... Cara Delevingne doesn't really look like she's ever touching it, though, when she's like...
Which is the only thing I'm like, I do think the acting in this is truly terrible, but when you think about them having to actually just stand in front of green screens and pretending that all of this stuff is here and happening, I give them a little bit more credit.
Yeah, I guess so.
But then again, so does everyone in Guardians of the Galaxy and...
Jurassic Park, man.
In Jurassic Park. Yeah. But, so they're trying to get this armadillo...
And a converter.
That's the converter. That's what the animal's called.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, again with the naming of things.
Wait, hold on.
The
But
animal is the converter.
Wasn't there a box thing that they took?
That's not the converter. It's just like, it's like
That's
a DNA box. Like,
That's the portal.
yeah.
Oh.
He puts his hand in that, and that's how he like connects to the other worlds.
Mm-hmm.
The little armadillo is called a converter because he basically converts energy into pearls.
Yeah.
His intestinal tract.
Hillary is dropping knowledge.
Yeah, because then she gives it her earring, and it makes diamonds. And I was like, why aren't you always making diamonds?
Weird.
This new economy.
Okay, so they've got this little fucking pet pearl thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then John Goodman's there as Jabba the Hutt. Or not Jabba the Hutt.
Oh my god, that was John Goodman?
Yeah.
I didn't know
He's just quintessential dad voice to me. I was like, yes, John Goodman.
I didn't know
I was like, how
He's
could I...
definitely speaking into like a voice change.
Yeah.
But
I
you
like
can tell
that.
it's John
Yeah.
Goodman.
You could trap me in a basement anytime, John Goodman.
I agree with that. I like that.
We should do that movie also. Have you
what?
seen that 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Oh, that's a good movie.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Fell asleep
Oh, I loved that movie.
just because it was late. I liked it though.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
I liked it. I'd watch it again. We
Yeah.
can do that.
Next time on the pod.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So we've
what's
got
happening?
the converter, and then we are going back to the ship to return the converter to the captain general guy, Clive Owen, who's just like aging very well.
Hot.
Very well.
Hot.
I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Yeah, I know.
Since
Seriously.
Children of Men.
Taking
Like, I
a
don't know
break?
yeah. We don't take
Too
breaks.
long of a break.
Is acting your job or is it not your job? Like,
Yeah. Are you committed? Are you an artist? This wine's good. Okay. It's really good.
So they're trying to return the converter to the general, and then all of a sudden, they're attacked by an unknown force. Which this is what I text Hillary. I was like, "Is this a cum gun? What is this? What is this movie? It looks like a cum gun."
So was it where? Oh, okay. So I got confused because I thought I saw cum a few times in shooting out of guns in this movie.
Oh my god.
So, like, what time are you talking about? Because there have been a few times where I see a splotch, and I was like, that texture looks questionable. And then the other time where they're all, like, in these full uniforms of splurge or whatever they have on them, and they have to cut themselves out.
That's what I'm talking about.
Is that the cum gun?
So the cum gun. I love that you thought that there were multiple scenes that could be cum guns, because I was like, Hillary, this is a cum gun. What is this movie?
When you texted cum gun, when you texted cum gun, I hadn't yet watched. And so I was truly on the lookout for a cum gun moment. And I thought I saw multiple. But really, there's one. There's one cum gun moment.
There is. So there,
But I really was on the lookout, and then I was like, I better get it right. Which one? Oh, that looks like it. That looks like it. No, it's mostly that one.
Yeah.
Where it just covered the entire group of people.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're just...
It was intense.
Yeah, so like Laureline and Valerian are, again, still trying to return this converter, which is the armadillo shit pearl animal.
Wait, but Valerian's able to cut himself out of the cum capsule that he is stuck in because he has a magic spider that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, Valerian, cool. And then like,
crazy.
Stop.
No. Yeah.
Okay, with the spiders and
I know.
cool. Okay, well we got to move the plot along, so I get why the spider exists.
I know.
But
You guys
also...
you can't die in a cum suit. It's just not the way you can go.
It's not the way I pictured it, but it's not the worst way to go.
You can't kill Cara Delevingne in a cum suit. She can't suffocate there.
And I just love how helpless. Like Cara Delevingne is like this badass woman who is just like kicking ass all over the place, and like, you know, she has
seems
this
like
tough
she knows
face.
what she's doing, and she's always pressing a lot of buttons, making it look like she knows what she's doing. But at the end of the day, he ends up being, this is what I noticed in terms of like strong female leads. This is why I felt like she was kind of taken away from, or her character was sort of diminished, is he was always taking the first step to go into a new area and to do the first part of the mission. And she even makes a comment at one point like, okay, now you stay back for backup or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't.
And then
like a typical dude, he follows her into the thing and doesn't stay back.
Yeah.
Ass.
Well, I have so many issues with Cara Delevingne's character. I just feel like Laureline was set up to be like, you know, like the badass, and then
she seemed cool
Valerian
in the beginning.
should have been like, they just didn't play well together. I was like, I thought Valerian should be like the major who doesn't deserve it. Like he's kind of like, he doesn't take his responsibilities seriously, but then that's, you know, thrown to shit towards the end where he's like, I'm a soldier, this is my life, like blah blah blah. I was like, is it? Because you've been like shirking your responsibilities this entire movie.
Totally.
And then like randomly he asked her to marry him, and I was like, what the
I know.
fuck is this proposal?
It seemed a little out of left field.
And I was like, whoa, she
doesn't even seem to like him.
I'm like, I don't know, she just has like a resting model face, but there's just not a lot of expressions happening on her face.
Because she's not a great actress.
Well,
they were both pretty terrible.
True, but I guess the thing about Cara Delevingne is like, she was so famous when she was in this movie that it's like you can't see her. I can't see her past the model. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like it works against some people, at least for me, when they're so well known, that it like, she's not that horrible of an actress, but because of who she is, I was looking for her to be bad. And also like Rihanna, and God love her, we'll get to her, but Riri, just, it's like throwing athletes in a movie. I'm like,
well,
what
Michael
the
Jordan's
fuck?
Space Jam, they can be done.
But it never ends well.
Space Jam, I just proved you wrong. That was
I mean-
perfect film.
Wait for the reboot.
Was Michael Jordan a good actor in it, though? I mean, he was
He was
just
good
an
in it.
I thought he was great.
Yeah.
All right, well, I gotta watch it.
I mean, he
guys.
pretty much played himself, so I'll give
I
you
gotta
that.
watch it. But like Bronny's not really.
I feel like
being
LeBron is
awesome.
actually going to be a very good
I
actor.
think he's gonna be great because he's
He's-
great at everything he does.
Exactly.
He's the
Whoa,
best.
no,
What?
not in the
Okay,
movie.
Cleveland.
I
How
know,
are you?
I know.
Yeah.
But what was the Amy Schumer movie? He was awful in it.
No, he wasn't.
Ugh.
He was not.
I hate athlete
What is
actors.
that?
Yeah.
What is that movie?
Yeah, I'm
Trainwreck.
talking about. Yeah.
He was not awful. He was like, he was a delight. If I was to describe him as
I
anything,
hate
like he was
athlete
light
actors.
in that movie. Like, I mean, he had like 4 lines, but
Guys,
I was
I'll
like,
watch
he-
it.
he did
I mean, I'll
great.
watch it.
I thought he was great.
I'll watch Space Jam. I'll watch it with you.
Yeah. Oh my God, we should also do like Space Jam and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I freaking love that movie.
Speaking of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I swear to God, in that Alpha Planet, there was a Jessica Rabbit.
There was.
Was there? Okay.
There was.
So I was like, was that in my head?
No. She was real.
Yeah, I saw the curves.
So let's backtrack because Valerian does ask Laureline to marry him, which is an important like thread throughout the movie. Is that he's trying to convince her that he's ready for marriage, even though he's obviously not.
I know, and she does the whole like, no, you're not, I'm awesome, and then at the end she gives in. Right.
Well, she doesn't give in. She says maybe.
Okay, but they like move to a weird beach together.
Yeah.
So basically, right? I mean, I just like it was so predictable.
I was actually happy that she said no and that she didn't just agree.
True.
Because I think what they wanted to portray is that this is something that she wants, but she's not giving into it because she knows he's not ready. And I was like, okay, some maturity there. Like, you know, she's sticking to her guns.
But
even
not the
though
making of a strong female lead.
she's got all the things.
I know.
They just didn't come together.
I know.
So they're.
That's okay. It wasn't her fault. It was the script.
It was terrible.
It's not Cara.
It's not.
Not Cara's fault. So
I mean, it is her fault. Let's be honest. She's not a great actress, and I'm like, I like her as a personality. Not in this movie.
So they go to Alpha, and they meet. He needs to meet a glam bot. I think that's what they called her, a glamour bot or something. And he ends up. She has the answers or some shit like that, and then he sees Rihanna.
Yes. Well, he needs to meet this glamour person so that he can impersonate one of the aliens that is holding Cara Delevingne.
Yes. Because he has to find her because she's...
Because she got taken away by an evil butterfly.
Oh yeah.
Because she has to have a moment, I guess, of
she's
that
like,
she's
pretty,
a damsel.
Pretty butterfly. Oh. Yeah, it was a very damsel in distress
After she
moment.
just has this like super triumphant moment where she saves. If there was any chemistry between them, it would have been a cute moment where she's trying to get him to say thank you for saving him. Because he's apparently about to die, and she literally goes through the world's largest space station to get to him in the nick of time. And he just like won't say, thank you or like acknowledge that she's a
And
badass.
he still doesn't.
Yeah.
Like even after she pushes forward, he says something. So,
and he like
not
snickers, and he's like,
I do the same for you.
Yeah.
It's my man voice.
So yeah, Laureline's captured by this like brooding aliens, and Valerian needs to find a shapeshifter person or alien in order to change his identity to get in.
So enter Riri.
Enter Rihanna,
aka Bubble. I loved her dance. I loved her shape-shifting dance. It was clearly like a body double at times where like they didn't even manage to like fix the face and make it look like Riri, and I was like, that's an entirely different person, and they might even be white. Like, I couldn't, and it just, I mean, it was not, they weren't even, like, trying. There were a lot of, like, stripper pole moves. I loved it.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe this is something to be seen in 3D, and that would have given it the correct effect, because I was
it a 3D
underwhelmed.
movie?
But it seems like, like, for all these effects, for the $177 million that they paid, you should at least be able to watch it in three dimensions.
Agreed. It should have been. And that would have been cool to see Riri strip like that. I liked it.
Because I'm imagining, like, a Tupac hologram scenario. If I had the 3D glasses, it would have been like Rihanna was dancing for me, which I would have enjoyed.
I would love a Riri hologram.
Why isn't that, like, available yet?
Actually, I want someone who is dead. What? Yeah, so like a Prince hologram. Because I could just go see Rihanna in concert.
I have to dance for you.
Like a intimate show?
No, I just, like, why have, like, 50,000 other people when Rihanna could just dance in my living room? What the fuck do I need the other 49,000 people for?
That's true, that makes sense.
Someone get on that. Okay.
Science happened.
Stop trying to cure cancer.
Glamapod. I think that's what it's called. Oh, and I like that peacock, and it was like, wanna fly? That was around the time you saw Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah, they're going to, like, the pleasure alley.
I know, it seemed like kind of like a party I'd want to go to. I like those, like, underground, slightly dirty, questionable parties.
I like it. I would definitely be there. I would never leave. The rest of the island, or the rest of the space station seemed boring as fuck.
Weird outfits. Yeah. Love it.
Okay, so Rihanna,
she dies.
Valerian convinces Rihanna to come with him to save Loreline, who's just, like, being tortured by being a model for this other alien creature, these, like, brown creatures with tiny heads and huge bodies.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Loreline's being tortured and made into, like, a paper doll.
They have a thing where they're about to, like, take part of her head off, and so she kind of, like, she falls down, and then Riri gets in front of her and then, like, is helping her and stuff, I think.
Oh, I must have...
Okay, so then what happens?
So then this is the most dramatic and probably my favorite scene in the whole movie is Rihanna's death. Because Valerian convinces Loreline and Bubbles that they're going to charge the other alien force, and he's like, do you trust me, Loreline? And she doesn't say anything, but then they're like yelling, and this, like, triumphant run, and they're, like, going to attack, and then all of a sudden they, like, jump down into a sewer grate, and Bubbles is like...
Bubble.
Oh, sorry. Bubbles is a power... Bubble is Rihanna. So this is the big epic death scene of Bubble. And it's mind-boggling, because why is Bubbles dying? It's made of jelly.
I don't know. She said she said she was injured.
It's made of jelly.
What she said, I must have been injured during the fight.
How is she not sure? I was just baffled. And I was like, okay, this is one way to exit a movie.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But, okay, Rihanna has this huge death scene, and then, like, for some reason she turns into Cleopatra. He gives her one final compliment to stroke her female ego.
And then she does this weird, like, with her eyes. And then she gets, like, all cracky. You know what I mean? Like, where they kind of, like...
dried out.
Black
cracked. I see what they did there, and it wasn't funny. But we are forced to move along. Very quickly. We don't really,
We don't even get time to
having a moment.
We don't even get time to mourn.
Our friend, she helped us. No, we're just like, and moving on.
Yeah, we don't get time to mourn her death.
Exactly. So now we're just going to skip to the end. Fast forward to the end. There's this big epic meetup between aliens from Planet Mull. They get the real story about Clive Owen as the general. And we figure out for the first time that these objects that were falling from the sky onto Planet Mull were actually spaceships from some
galactic
battle.
Kind of space battle.
Right. And then, this whole time, like...
And that one pearl that we thought had died in the beginning, she was resting within the soul
which made
of
no
Valerian,
sense.
Which was weird.
That was a plot point that didn't need to be.
But that's fine.
It made no difference whether or not she was a part of him or not.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess that was why Cara Delevingne thought he was good.
No, it had nothing to do with his relationship with Cara Delevingne. It only was like the mother didn't kill him at one scene because she sensed the presence of her daughter. And I was like,
Yeah.
but they didn't kill anyone in any other scenes, so they
No.
would have just put him back to sleep
You're
with the
right.
cum gun. So you have to have been paying very close attention to the very first part of this movie when they're on that weird beach awkward scene doing their weird play fighting, because he feels a wave of energy, and Cara Delevingne says something about it, and I was like, this is this doesn't pay off until the literal last.
So what's your favorite strong female lead? First of all, why did you choose this movie?
I honestly, like I said, I thought that Cara Delevingne was Valerian, and I thought it was going to be like a woman kicking ass in space.
That's fair. So what's the best strong female lead moment in this movie?
I mean,
worst.
I'm gonna give it to Bubbles, because at least
Bubble.
for the 10 minutes that she's in the movie, she has a very short but emotional journey. She changes. She grows
does
up
have
a
an
little bit.
emotional arc.
She does. Whereas the actual lead, I don't feel like Cara Delevingne's character was at any moment ever changed by the plot of this film. The plot seems to be boy loses girl, girl loses boy, boy loses girl, girl loses boy.
So what's the worst female lead moment?
Unfortunately,
all of them.
Cara Delevingne.
Just her moment.
Just her
presence.
journey throughout this film. Her character doesn't change.
Yeah.
She seems to learn nothing because they make her she's always right. She's barely a person. She's something to be played off of, not in any way.
There's
her
no
own
depth
person.
to her.
No, and I'm she does have some agency over her actions.
Do you think she's a manic pixie dream girl?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think
No.
so either.
No,
But she is
do have
just
some
as
respect for
flat,
her.
though.
I don't think that manic pixie dream girls are flat.
Oh, you don't?
I think I don't.
Okay, so the manic pixie dream girl exists to help the male character grow. Sort of like Elizabethtown or 500 Days of Summer. There's not a lot of different shades to them, but they're there to kind of help the male character learn about himself and what he wants and what he needs, and then they don't have any real internal struggles of their own. Huh? Like Garden State? But we don't even learn that much about him. There's not even a huge emotional arc for him, so she couldn't be one because she's not really helping him learn anything.
Yeah, I mean, she's giving him ultimatums throughout this movie, but I'm
they just don't have a lot of depth.
This
at
movie
the end
has
of the
to
day.
stand alone on its own. You can't make a movie of this magnitude and expect only the people who've read the comic books for the past 40 years to watch it, because you don't spend $177 million for the fan base you already have. You already have them and their money.
Yeah.
But I think an honorable mention for strong female lead would be the Queen Mother character. She has an emotional arc throughout the film of the Queen of the Mull alien people.
I thought her
who's willing
daughter
to
was
forgive.
good because for the few scenes that her daughter was in, she was being tortured, and she was withstanding the torture, and she wasn't speaking. You remember?
That wasn't her. She died. The daughter died.
Oh shit! So who is that?
That was just another Mullian.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I would give the Queen Mother a strong female lead stamp of approval, because she does have a character arc. She's lost a daughter. She's lost a planet. She's lost a daughter. She's been at war, but she still has it in her heart to forgive, which is baffling. These humans who do not deserve her forgiveness, but she's above all of that. So she gets a
no
she's
hate,
a strong female lead.
but I don't think there's a strong female lead in this.
So I would absolutely never recommend that anybody watch this movie.
Never.
Unless you've got 2 hours that, if, say, your kids are out of town. I don't know what kids do.
Honestly, if you have 2 hours that you don't care, that you can't get back, and you'd love to just throw into the ether and not feel good after,
Yeah,
watch
you
this
will
movie.
question it.
Watch
and
this
we'll,
movie.
And I don't want to say it, but I will say I told you so. But on a scale from 1 to full anal penetration, I'm gonna give this maybe a single anal bead, an anal pearl. It's just a finger in. Just try it out. Try it out. So try it out. You might like it. You might like it. And if you like it, fucking hit us up on social media because I need to talk to these people who thought this movie was great. What would you give it?
I mean, you never know unless you try. You know, whether you're going to like something. So, I mean, that's the same thing with a movie. Because it might be what you're into, you know? And everyone has...
I will say, my husband's watched it 4 times because it is his favorite movie to hate.
Right.
He actually gets joy out of watching it. And he analyzes it.
But...
Yeah, watch the
Don't
YouTube
knock
clips.
it. Don't knock it unless you try it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about a lot of things. So I would say I'd give it half an anal bead for a second, and just see how you feel in that moment, and then decide
so that's
whether
really
to,
like getting it up there, even a half of a jagged anal bead.
decide whether
That's
to
really
go
violent
through
of you,
with it
Tricia.
or to just pull right out of that situation and pretend like it never happened. Because you can do that.
Pretend like it didn't happen.
Totally.
I think like once an anal bead is in, it's in.
The movie I picked was Chasing Amy. How'd you feel about it?
This is my emotion towards Chasing Amy. Oh.
So what about...
God, it was so long.
Very long.
Valerian was long, but this was like half the time, but seemed twice as long.
You want to know something funny is Valerian was really long, no dialogue, and all weird action. And this was all dialogue and zero action.
I think it was like an Instagram story and then and then a monologue.
Oh my God.
Instagram story, monologue, Instagram story,
What's the
monologue.
Instagram part? I love that you said that.
I just feel like it was like a montage of like, ooh, we're in Jersey. This is the 90s. Ben Affleck. I loved R&B Ben Affleck. I was here for that. Like once I saw his face, I was like, get it why J-Lo dated him.
Did you not know he was in this movie before you started watching it? Because that's a fun little surprise if you didn't know.
I did know he was in it. I just don't think I ever really looked at him. I've heard of Clerks, and I've heard of Chasing Amy.
Quite a long face, Horace.
I'm just having a little girl trouble.
Pressing charges. I get that a lot.
Holden McNeil was set in his ways. The way he worked. The way he lived. And the way he thought love should be. But then, she showed up.
Let me guess. You like her.
This girl loves me.
There's something you should know.
She got a boyfriend.
Well, no.
Then what's to know, my friend?
And this girl's got a secret that's going to drive him crazy.
I like you, Holden. I'd really like us to be friends.
What'd I tell you? She just needs the right guy.
What's up?
If you come pick me up, I'll be your best friend.
Now, the only thing standing in Holden's way is the truth.
I can't take this.
Can't take what?
I love you. Not in a friendly way.
How was your pseudo date?
Okay, I'm telling you, she's never even been with a guy.
You're dating a guy?
So what if it is true?
You know you have no shot at getting her into bed.
I take it that's not good.
Miramax Films presents a comedy that tells it like it feels.
She's been around and seen things we've only read about in books. So what'd you do last night?
Got lucky.
Chasing Amy.
Okay, so it was a super cheap student film. Clerks was his first film, and it was a cult classic. And then I believe he made Mallrats, and then Chasing Amy, then Dogma. And then he had a few others. And they have like running themes through them. So it's all this weird stuff only if you know his movies, and that's why it ends up. It's like a big inside joke. All of his
What
movies.
fun is that?
Truly. Like, especially Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, which is just like joke for all people that followed the other movie. And that's what he did. That's why he's not making a lot of money now, I don't think. So Chasing Amy is about 2 comic book artists, Holden McNeil and Banky Edwards, and they're best friends, and they go to this Comic-Con thing, and that's where they meet named Alyssa Jones. And basically, Holden, who's played by Ben Affleck, ends up falling in love with her before finding out that she is a lesbian.
Impossible.
It seemed like it was a very short period of time. Like they met one night, and then he,
Like, there was no comma, there was just like a full-on, I met you, I love you.
Yeah, so for movie's sake, I think it just happened very, very quickly. It always seemed like his friend Hooper, the trope black gay comic book writer, he always knew the truth. He seemed like the holder of secrets, and
because if you're a minority in any type of in any movie, you must be wise unless it's a movie about gang life, and then you're just like a product of the system. But cool.
So do you think he just he was like the all knower?
I was like
and he wouldn't tell everyone what was going on. He knew, and I was sort of like, oh.
Well, I was just like I was like I wrote down white hating coon.
Oh, I know that was the name of the comic book,
and I was like, interesting. Who's buying this comic book?
Oh, I know.
Is that the superhero character's name? I don't know. Now I'm actually like...
Well, he was the comic book within the comic book. Like, he's part of the Chasing Amy story. I don't think he's a separate comic book that Kevin Smith came up with. But maybe he did. Wouldn't that be crazy? We'll have to look.
Written by a white man called...
That would be fucking nuts.
I would buy that.
And so I sort of think it's just a part of the story.
I do like it that it's like a setup, like, you know, like he's planted.
That is kind of fun.
He's planted in the crowd.
They're at a Comic-Con, and the gay black male comic book artist who they know, and he's like part of a minority panel, and he's one of their friends, and they go in to listen to the panel, and the black gay comedian, or comic book artist, I keep calling him a comedian, he basically sets up a situation where he acts like he's shooting people and he's yelling black rage. And it's to set up his comic book story, which is playing on a total stereotype. And then the whole thing that we're supposed to be like, whoa about is that he's actually gay. And so he has to hide that, and he has to act like something different. There's so many things wrong with it. But I think that Kevin Smith knew there was something wrong with it. So I think that's why it's in the movie, but it's still like the opinion of a white male in the 1990s. But
I mean, I don't know anything about Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah, you don't.
But I'm like, I feel like it's a bit of for me, it feels like a bit of a reach that he was self-aware in that moment, or in writing this, that he was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna really stick it to the common thought. And that the speech of black people who are marginalized in these ways, and he is the minority of the minority of the minority, is actually going to be this self-fulfilling thing. Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
So do you think it's sort of like the?
I think they needed that character.
It's like
to give perspective, because nobody else can give perspective on Allison besides him. The other two are not allowed to. So they needed another character.
And who were they going to have?
And the minority of the minority of the minority. I am kind of curious why it wasn't a woman, but I guess she probably wouldn't be. They don't have any other female friends. A black woman would have been the minority of the minority of the minority, and makes sense to be friends with Allison.
But they would have... Banky didn't have any friends, so that was his fellow comic book artist.
Were they friends?
Who?
Banky and the black character?
Through Ben Affleck's character, Holden.
Oh, I wouldn't have called them friends.
Yeah, like acquaintances.
I was like, I don't talk to my friends like they talk to each other.
Yeah, but so that's Jason Lee's character. So that's the thing about Kevin Smith's movies, is Jason Lee will play a different character in the movies, but it's always the same. Mm-hmm. So he's always kind of yelling and crotchety, and sort of falls into a lot of stereotypes, but is kind of sort of being the establishment. It's really weird. You got to watch Mallrats. But
he was my favorite character.
And how hot was he though?
I didn't notice. I was too busy staring at Ben Affleck's goatee and just imagining him.
Do you think Jason Lee is hot?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
No, I just wanted it to cut away to a music video, like the beginning of Teen Witch, where Ben Affleck was a rapper or in an R&B group, and just a lot of flowy windows, and I was just waiting for it. I was like, eventually this goatee is going to take on a life of its own. It just lead him down a path that only can end in R&B, and I was like, it didn't happen, and I was really disappointed.
That goatee should be credited.
I think so. And why did he get rid of that?
Yeah. I think because it looks awful.
Was he doing a Jersey accent throughout the movie?
Was he
attempting an accent?
Did he try? I don't think so. Did he?
I don't know. Something about his voice sounded weird.
Okay, so he meets. So back to Chasing Amy. So Ben Affleck's character, Holden McNeil, he meets Alyssa Jones, who's played by Lauren Adams, and he falls in love with her, and he decides to tell her. She gets pissed.
Okay,
and she gets pissed, and they're in a car in the rain.
Let's just. This is what made me extra angry.
What do we think about that scene?
Extra angry. Because this happens like a solidly 50 minutes into the movies. I only have written like, oh no. They go to a gay bar and they're just like, it's the scene where like the music is like a broken chord where it's like, oh my god, gay couples everywhere. Oh my god, a guy and a guy, a girl and a girl. And I'm like, and then 50 minutes into the movie, we get to this like declaration of love. Nothing is happening in these other minutes except for the discovery that there are gay people in their universe. I'm like, and it's in New Jersey.
You're right.
I was just like, so if you're gonna watch this movie, just like watch the opening credits because you'll be like, okay, comic book, and then just skip 50 or 44, skip to minute 44 and start there. Restart the movie there.
Listen, okay, so yeah.
Because it's not really like a meet cute. Because I'm like, they just decide that they're in love.
There's not a meet cute.
There's no.
I think with the point of it, it is kind of a courting montage, but what they just pepper in is different conversations about homosexuality, really, and they kind of like talk about that. And Banky seems to be extremely homophobic, and one of my favorite scenes, and it's cheesy and so good, is when they're at the club and Banky realizes that he's at a gay bar. And I just love it. I can't even handle myself. He has so many different looks. He looks around, exactly what you're talking about with the music, but his facial expressions and then how happy he is, which is, he's kind of joking, but at the end of the day,
like, I don't think he's happy.
He's not happy, but he's kind of pleased. It's something that he can like watch and be entertained with. But then he doesn't want, obviously doesn't want Holden to be with Alyssa. So there's kind of a happiness with that part that she ends up being a lesbian. And I'm going to give this movie some credit because if I would have seen this in 1997, it would have been weird because I was 9. But yes, but it was very progressive for its time. In 2018, I'm like, okay, other people's lives, that's not the entertainment. There were bands there that were your entertainment, but just like... It's weird. It's 1997. That was actually progressive, the idea of him being there and then being kind of into it. And then them talking about sex. So that was Kevin Smith's thing, though. All he does is he has his characters who have, like, they're kind of related to each other within the movie, or like Jason Lee's in all of his movies as kind of the same character throughout, is basically they just like intellectualize, wax philosophic about life, and kind of like they kind of go into like some like sexual stuff that wasn't very common back then. And it, at the time, the fact that they talked about that stuff, like when they were going back and forth with their war stories of like eating out a woman, that was considered, it was considered progressive. It's crazy in 2018. It was 20 years ago but it truly was, even though he was playing into all that stuff also. Like he was poking fun at ideals that were going on then, but then we can do the same thing about his movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but again, I just have a hard time believing that he's being so progressive in his, I guess in his treatment of homosexuality. I just have a hard time believing that he's being progressive even in 1997, because like gay already existed for me, but it didn't exist in this way. Yeah.
I mean, maybe growing up in an incredibly conservative area, but it definitely was not talked about openly when I was younger at that time. And kids were hiding it that I knew, but it was very looked down upon, which is sad. But I grew up in a pretty homogeneous area in Ohio. Much love, but yes. So that gives you an idea. But okay, so
we're at minute 50.
Where are we? We're at a different conversation about homosexuality. Wait, because that really is what it is. It's just like several distinctive monologues about homosexuality. God. So Kevin Smith's movies are monologue driven, right?
I was just like openly laughing. Sure. I was like, who is he talking to? You know, she could walk away,
like, who would
get a drink at a bar, come back, he'd still be on the rain talking to her.
Oh, I know. I know. But they're taught, like, their justifications for their feelings and their actions are like 3 pages long. And that's just how it is in all of them. I know. And then they have like little reactions. Okay. So basically so they meet, he realizes she's a lesbian. He's a little thrown with that, but then they end up falling for each other. But then his big hang up, and this is where it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
His big hang up is that she has had sex with multiple partners before, and she's been with men, period. So then it's like, this whole thing stops making any sense to me at all.
Yeah.
But I guess the story is, it's based on allegedly based on Kevin Smith's real experience of being in a relationship, allegedly, with Joey Lauren Adams. And so it was like a past that he couldn't reconcile. And that just seems like straight up insecurity to me. But like, at least he's open about it and he writes it into the movie.
Yeah, and I feel like Ben Affleck's character also comes to that realization that what's actually happening is that he's feeling inadequate. I like that they named it. He said inadequate in the movie. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah,
interesting. But
agreed. You don't think it made up for everything?
No, I was like, let's rewind a bit to the scene in the rain, Ben Affleck's little monologue, and I was like, okay, he's really laying it on thick.
Yeah.
And then I loved her response to him.
She was mad.
When she was mad, as she should be. I was like, he was being very selfish. And again, this is why I can't call her a strong female lead. Like, I want to. I mean, unfortunately, I give like Ben Affleck's character as a strong female lead.
Wait, so why wasn't she though?
Because I just didn't. She has this like running theme that she like assigns herself of like, I'm doing things on my own terms, but it doesn't seem as though she's doing things in her own terms. She's walking away from Ben Affleck in that moment to make it seem as though she's doing this on her own volition, but she's actually just feeding him and feeding that ego because he says multiple times that like, oh, what she really was missing is a good dicking down. Like that's what, lesbians are. And I was like, what's wrong with you? Like
it's deep dicking. But I like dicking down.
Sorry.
And then to be honest, I'd rather us say dick.
Have you never heard that dick down? What?
No.
Guys.
And I am sad that I haven't, truly. I think
he does say deep dicking.
But yes. No, you're right. He's selfish in that conversation. He's expressing his love, but he's sort of acting like, well, if you're into it, then it should be no big deal. And we can just be together and that's fine. And she's like, well, I've been kind of doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a big deal.
Yeah, because she says, this is my identity. And I was like, I don't know that your sexuality is your identity, but so it is as much as you make it.
What I wish is there was more.
She's giving up her literal identity in order to be with him. And I was like, is it worth it? Because it's Ben Affleck with a goatee.
I agree. I love her, but there's nothing more to her
than her sexuality,
other than her sexual identity.
She's a comic book artist.
That's true, but like we don't learn anything different about her personality.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so they spend 2 hours and basically that's the main thing. And then they just show them having fun and smoking cigs. And I will tell you, this movie makes me nostalgic as fuck for cigarettes. They smoke.
She's like smoking on set at Comic-Con.
Everywhere. Oh my God, I feel just a pang in my heart. Okay, I quit 5 years ago, but they were such a big part of my life for like over 10 years, and you could do it anywhere you were social. And I do miss that, but it probably stunk. I mean, we didn't know, but anyways.
There was Dare. There was Just Say No. We all knew. Just say
drug
no,
abuse,
kids.
Resistance education. I was in a play. Is that what you're talking about? I did that in grade school.
I remember our Dare cop was hot.
Dare's been
he came
around.
on his bike in like these tiny ass shorts. I was like, what is this? I was in 5th grade, but I was like,
He got thighs.
What are you teaching?
You like his thigh?
Yeah, he was
his biker cop thighs.
Yeah, I was like, I get
Love that.
My friend,
not gonna do drugs.
I'm not gonna do drugs.
He said not to.
Dare man? No, the Dare cop.
Yeah.
I remember.
Our Dare cop was.
He was super hot because I think
Ours
he was like
wasn't
new to
either.
the forest. Because why else would he be on a bike? But I was
Our
like,
Dare cop was my tennis teacher, and he was like, "Hey, let me get my little tennis kid up here." There's this like older black police officer who also taught tennis, and like he was my tennis coach, Mr. Coach Wilson. And he'd be like,
Oh my
"Hey," he was like, "Hey, let me get a little tennis buddy up here." So I come up here, I get to hold the case.
What case?
It was a black briefcase with all the drugs.
Oh, you were a drug holder?
Yeah, I was holding.
she's holding.
And I would hold it, and we'd walk around the desk, and he'd point to what these things were, and all of them were "Don't touch them."
I love that.
We're gonna cut that all out.
We didn't have a briefcase of drugs.
Yeah, they're like all these like random fake pills.
I just know that my Dare cop came a lot. Like I was like, what was he doing?
Ours
Maybe
came
he
a
was.
lot, too.
Yeah, I was like, why? I feel like it's like a one and done message. Like,
No.
just say no.
We
And he
did,
was just like checking in on us.
We
like,
did that all in like
Over.
4th grade and 5th grade.
yeah. I was like, I had way more Dare than I did sex ed. So I was like, what's going on in public schooling?
Oh my God.
like Northern Illinois.
Agreed. Well, we
Stay
certainly
away.
did not have sex ed. Basically, they have a fight in the rain, and then they're in a relationship together.
That was fast.
Then Holden realizes.
So she changes her whole identity, which is one of my hallmarks for like, if you were a strong female lead, like, are you affected by the plot? Like, do you change it all? She's just changing in a negative way, in my opinion.
She does, yeah, but then it kind of like what I thought maybe she was having an issue with is she seemed to be open, like kind of like pansexual, but we would never have really called it that back then. But that's kind of what I got the feeling, what I felt about her character. But then I liked that she didn't really, she wanted to do her own thing and figure it out on her own and see, like, look under every rock and see what she was attracted to. But it did seem like to us, it changed very quickly.
Yeah.
And it was about this guy that, I mean, they connected, but I didn't see enough of the relationship to truly believe that, like, they loved each other.
Yeah, I just wish that Ben Affleck's character would have given her more of a choice than an ultimatum, which is what I did not respect about his character. Like, don't make it seem as though I have to make this decision now. Because it is, up until then, that is a huge part.
Yeah.
And / the only part we know about her identity is that she is free with herself and she is a lesbian and that's what she identifies it as. And I was like, I feel like it's a little unfair for him to be like, choose me, try me, I'm good, I've got vitamin D, like, which is the only thing that does a body good, apparently.
Totally. I agree. But then that's not even the hang up. That's not even what fucking breaks them up, which is sort of like,
D's.
What the fuck? Then it's like, oh, you have an issue with her being a lesbian. Oh, but now you have an issue with her being with dudes. And then it was like, fuck, Holden. You can't do that. And I do, I liked how she called him out at the hockey game. That was fun.
That was, but
it was fun.
I did. I liked that she called him out, and I was like, I liked that she did it in a public place. And it's like, hey, why are you asking me this in a hockey game full of like? I know. And then I liked how the guy sitting next to Ben Affleck was like, yeah, even I figured it out. I was like, yeah did you?
Okay. So I thought that was a great moment when she did that, and then they got angry.
But I also
they got into a fight outside, and she just really, she laid it into him and was like, I did whatever the fuck I wanted. Don't judge me about my sexual past. I didn't owe you that information, kind of thing. Then she did apologize and was like, I'm sorry I let you believe that you were the only man I was with. It seemed to make you happy in a way that I could never do. But then she was like, but this is me. I was watching it with my boyfriend, and he said the only thing he was upset about was that she apologized at all. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, she didn't do anything wrong, but I kind of understood where she was coming from, where like sometimes holding out on the truth in certain situations, it's an intentional choice, which I don't think is wrong if it's your own personal life. But you know what I mean? I can see apologizing for maybe leading someone a certain way. But
I mean, I don't think she had anything to apologize for. I mean, if you didn't ask.
Why didn't he ask like a normal person, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, instead of accusing her.
Yeah. Agreed. Actually, I switched my spot. I switched my spot.
Yeah, but I was thinking, I was like, if the situation was reversed, because I'm like, his big problem is that there's been other dicks, or I guess like too many dicks, or too many wild dicks in her life. You know, like feral dicks in her life.
Feral dickage.
And I was like, okay, I don't really.
You need to capture those feral dicks, and you need to take them to the local.
To the pound, where they belong. Make sure they got their shots.
The local animal dick shelter. Get them taken care of. Get them off the streets. So yeah, that was his issue, is that she had been with too many guys and that she had been in a three-way.
Yeah, and I was like,
and that was his big, at the end of the day.
I just like, I couldn't like really wrap my head around the fact that he's more mad. I was thinking like, if this was me and the situation was reversed, like, because I have had this conversation, like, if the guy that you were with has had sexual experiences with a guy, how do you feel about that as a woman? And I was like, I don't think that I would feel
deep.
It's easy for me to attack him as like, oh my God, he's being so chauvinistic and not like giving her a chance to be her own person. But I'm like,
so would you have an issue?
I think I would be similar to Ben Affleck, and like, this isn't an issue that is my partner's, it's my issue. I think like as a woman, like, yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be completely honest, it would fuck with me, because I'm like, I think it would fuck with me for a little bit. So I kind of understood him in that moment, because I was like, if I'm putting myself in his shoes, like, I would not have the easiest time with that revelation.
But yours would be different. Yours would be a guy with two girls, if it was the three-way that was bothering you.
Yeah, but I guess I just.
And would that bother you as much as thinking of them with a guy?
No, but I also think because I'm a woman, I'm like, we're kind of like desensitized to that. It's almost like, meh, it's another thing that they've done. Like, it's another thing in his life.
You've seen one porn, you've seen them all.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think like it would be harder for me to be like, not accept, but it would be like a harder truth that if it was like a dude, I'd be like, oh, that's fucking with me. Like, how
would it be
I
like
feel
a
in
turn off at all, or would it be more about like?
It wouldn't be anything to do with the other person. It would be like, how do I feel about me being desirable in this scenario where I'm like, oh,
okay,
well, you're
so
also
that was
into
Holden's fucking issue.
Yeah, and so
he had
I gave
an issue.
him a little credit, and I was like, it was hard for me to be really mad at him. It was like,
interesting.
He's never interacted with us. Like, he seems to have had some sort of sheltered life, because he doesn't interact when they're having that conversation at the bar about the wild sex that they've both the other two have had, and I was like, okay, well, maybe he doesn't have that experience, or like.
I think he's just not as comfortable talking about it. But yeah. Because, I mean, he wouldn't be friends with Banky if there weren't something fucking crazy about him. You don't think?
No. All my friends are freaks.
I think Banky's so quirky that, like, he would have to be kind of, like, dark or fucked up to be friends with him. But either way, yeah, he clearly seems uncomfortable. But then even Banky's uncomfortable.
Well, Banky's uncomfortable because he's in love and hasn't realized the spectrum,
which is just
sexual
so
fluidity.
Painful. It's so obvious, but they make it so we know the whole time. So it's not even.
But then he kisses him.
Yeah, but then he doesn't want anything to do with the kiss. So you're talking about Holden's kiss at the very end when, to make things better and to get past the fact that she has been in a relationship with women as well as had three-ways with men, and her nickname was Finger Cuffs. He decides that having a three-way with his best friend Banky and her is going to solve the issue.
The most self-serving,
the most ridiculous idea I have ever heard, right?
I mean, it did solve all of the problems he stated. He had a very clear...
It was very rational. It was very rational, but it was like if you weren't human beings.
I mean, I respected the shit out of her for turning it down, because that goatee was saying yes, and I would have agreed. I would have been like,
wait, so you give props? Hold on, hold on. You give props to Banky or
no,
to Alyssa?
To Alyssa for saying no, because Banky said yes and he wanted to, and then he's like, oh, thank God someone said no. You could have said no. No one was holding your feet to the fire. There was no stakes in it for him. He just agreed.
Did he agree or did he just not disagree? And then when she disagreed, then he was like, oh.
He said sure. It's a pretty...
Oh, did he say sure?
In the affirmative.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to have to play back the tape. Did Banky say sure?
Yeah, he's like, sure.
Oh, that's even funnier. That's a really good one. So, yeah. Okay, so that's what this is about. Just a guy's issue with the sexuality of his girlfriend.
Yeah. Because I think,
that's the whole thing.
I think, like, similar to me, like, her being with girls could be like, okay, well, I don't know how she feels about me, or how do I fit into this scenario. If her, like, spectrum of sexual fluidity is, like, this vast. Because everyone's on the spectrum, but she's, like...
I don't think she defined it, but it was so black and white to them the whole time. Like, it didn't make sense. And that's kind of interesting to hear now, because that's very outdated.
Yeah.
To think that you just, like, oh, you've been with a woman, and you've been with a man also? Like, it's usually you've just been with a man by default.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to come out yet. Most lesbians I know have been with men at some point in their life.
I know a couple gold stars.
Ooh, I love that. I forgot about that.
I love that term.
Have you guys never heard this before? Gold star lesbians?
I'm saying I love that term. Yeah.
I forgot about
I was like, you didn't know dick down. Gold star.
I do know one gold star.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not a lot.
I mean, it's impressive to me because I'm like, you knew yourself early when it was like,
I know.
very...
But aren't people more surprised if a lesbian knew herself that early than if she had been with a guy at some point in her life?
That's a lot of social pressure to not give into.
And then he is so freaked out about that. So I do have to say, though, one of the threads throughout all of the movies is the Jones sisters, and they're like uninhibited sisters.
Other Jones.
So it's Alyssa Jones, and then there's one in Clerks, her name's Heather Jones. And then there's Alyssa Jones, and then in Mallrats there's Tricia Jones, who's also called Trish the Dish. And she's writing a book about her sexual conquests. And she's a Catholic schoolgirl.
Do you relate to her?
So...
because you have like 6 things in common with her, and I'm not talking
Are you
about...
her?
You're a Catholic schoolgirl.
Mm-hmm.
You're a writer. Mm-hmm. Your Instagram handle is Trisha the Dish.
Oh, I know.
Or Dish Latrish.
But Trish the Dish, though, yeah. So that was my nickname when I was growing up, before this movie came out. And then when the movie came out, it was very common, and it was super annoying when I would meet people, a guy in particular, at a bar or at a party or something, and they would say, like, my name was Trisha, and it's not that common. It's kind of old-fashioned. So the first thing they would be like, oh, they call her Trish the Dish. And then I would have to respond, nobody calls me that, because that's what she did.
At least you knew what they were getting at.
What?
At least you could, like, play back. I don't know.
It was a flirt. It was a line. And it was a line that I got more than any other line, which is very
Step
funny.
up your game, Ohio.
Yeah,
I want to hear...
Truly. And in Michigan.
I want you to be better in Michigan.
I
need you to be. I need you to come better.
Show, and it is fun. It is fun. But let me just bring... Yeah, I picked this movie because I thought it was very progressive for the time. Also, I'm super nostalgic for it. I do. I stand by that. I think it was. I don't think there were a lot of... and there were a lot of movies that were openly talking about homosexuality at that time. And because he didn't have a lot of money to make it, there was no way it was going to get, like, picked up and put into the mainstream or anything. So I think that...
This wasn't widely released?
I don't think so. I mean, it was... They entered it into Sundance. And then I don't know. I don't think it was. But who knows?
Yeah, because the first Kevin Smith movie I ever heard of was Dogma, which was a wide release.
Right. That was the biggest one.
Yeah.
That was the biggest one. But, yeah, I think she's a strong female lead in that she's, and this is Joey Lauren Adams' character, in that she's doing what she wants to do, living her own life, sticking up for herself. I do think that it fell into some stereotypes. I think her best strong female lead moment, I think it's when she tells him off in the rain. But then, unfortunately, then she just gets back together with him. But I thought it was a pretty good monologue.
Yeah, she's great at monologues.
Yeah.
I think for me the worst moment of this movie was the lesbian triad who berated her for... It's like, what the fuck is this? It's like a circle of, like, who I'm assuming are witches, pretty much.
Dude.
Burning her at the stake for playing the pronoun game.
So shitty. Agreed. I was like, damn.
No supportive characters in this. And I was like, I think that's what...
That was a very difficult moment.
It was really disturbing. I was like, why are these women who are her best friends?
But their faces, like, all tense and shit, like when she's not, and then she just feels bad, and then she says his name, and then it ends up not working out, and then they have to fast forward through time. So after she decides not to have the three-way with him, and after
he breaks up with her,
Banky's like, then he breaks up with her, or she breaks up with him.
I think it was mutual. I just want him to be the villain. I mean, there's no
either
clear
way,
villain.
they didn't end up together. It didn't work as he had thought. And so they run into each other, like a year later or something, and she has to have like a weird haircut because this is what they did in the 90s. They have to show them with like an entirely different outfit, or
because otherwise time has not passed. I really think that this movie takes place over the course of a weekend. It doesn't seem like a lot of time has passed. They like meet at Comic-Con like the weekend before.
She got a perm.
Yeah, and this has been the longest space and time is between when they mutually agree to not do the threesome to Comic-Con is the longest span of time in the movie. Although it's the last like
5 seconds,
5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, for sure. And then and he also isn't best friends anymore with Banky, and that's kind of sad.
Which is surprising because they had their own little love language.
So fun fact: the girlfriend that Joey Lauren Adams' character makes out with at the bar when they're like, "Whoa, lesbian bar." Like, when they do that, the girlfriend that Joey Lauren Adams makes out with when she runs off stage is Jason Lee's wife at the time in real life.
Oh.
I think that's kind of funny. Hey, honey,
wait,
I've got a role for you.
The one that he's writing the movie about. That's her.
No, so Jason Lee is Banky.
Kevin Smith.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Smith wrote it. Jason Lee's the actor, but that's his wife making out with Joey Lauren Adams, and it's just like kind of funny. Like, yeah, I got this role for you. You can be an extra. It's perfect. Go on. I just love it.
Okay, life's imitating art or the other way.
Come on, babe. You got this one. Yeah, I don't know. So what I would rate this? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I would rate this 5 threesomes.
Okay.
On a 5 threesome scale.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
That's what I would rate it.
Okay. I think that I would rate this half of Chinese finger trap. So just like a finger. Again, just one finger. Just try it out.
Finger cup?
Just try it. Just
like
one
an
finger.
actual trap?
Like take the bead out, put one finger in, and then like.
What is a finger trap?
That's what they called her.
Oh, Chinese finger cuff?
Oh, cuff.
Oh,
trap, cuff. I think, yeah. I mean, I would say don't pay money to see this. Watch it on YouTube. It's still free.
It's free.
Or just watch the clips. You just like don't. It's like an hour and a half.
Or you could format.
I mean, I did enjoy enjoy was a strong word, but I liked. I like the scenes where it was Jay and Silent Bob when they were in the diner, and you actually find out what chasing Amy is.
Oh my god! Yes, and
I was like,
you for bringing
what
that up.
is this?
Silent Bob's story. It was Silent Bob's story. He had dated a girl, got freaked out by her past, and then broke it off with her.
And then like very instantly upset. Regretted it.
And then every day chasing Amy, that was a little.
It seems like that mean? Stalking Amy. Or,
yeah, it did seem a little weird.
Stalker laws in 1997.
But Jay and Silent Bob are like the characters, obviously, in the comic book.
I loved how much money he paid for that weed.
How much did he pay?
Like an entire like thick ass manila like envelope he like gave to Jay, and I was like,
okay,
how much was weed in the 90s?
I can't wait to tell you this. That's not for the weed. It's for the comic book is based off of them. But
That's disappointing.
I love that you thought.
What kind of licensing deal gets paid in cash?
But it's Jay and Silent Bob. They're just dealers. They operate off the grid. That's like the whole thing with them. So you can't. They don't have a bank account.
Why not?
They're just
Don't they run a business?
They're just roaming the streets, selling weed and saying things like "Snoochie Boochies."
Guys, that's it. That's the whole show. That's it.
That's the end of episode 3.
Gosh.
3rd episode.
I feel like we're killing it.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie was the best one. Thank you.
I mean, it was a movie. It made the length check. So, yeah.
Okay. So find us. Where can they find us, Tessa?
Strong Female Pod on Instagram. But tell us what you think. If you had a different experience, like if you're watching, what's this movie called?
Chasing Valerian.
Chasing Valerian.
Amy.
If you've seen either of these movies and you did not hate them, we need to meet you. I want to know about your life. I need you to reach out to us on social media. Because my life is forever changed, but in not a positive way. I want those hours back. I want that time back.
Thanks for listening. Fuck, motherfuck, motherfuck, noinch, smoking weed, doing coke, drinking beers, rolling fatties, smoking blunts. Who smokes blunts? We smoke the blunts, rolling blunts, smoking blunts. $15, little man, put that shit in my hand. And if that money doesn't show, then you owe me, my jungle love. Oh, we, yo. It's a whole rap. Thank you.